Hey folks, Rob here at Kettle Moraine, and I finally have some time to get around to putting this video together for bird care volunteers. So if you volunteered for bird care this year, I really thank you a lot. It means so much to the club because without proper care for the birds, we can't continue to supply birds for you. So I'm just going to go over kind of what's expected from our bird care volunteers and kind of how to do each step of it. So obviously we've got a pigeon pen where we've got pigeon feed and water in there to deal with. In the middle we've got chukars and quail, same, we have food and water to deal with. And of course ducks and pheasants in the last pen, and they also have food and water to deal with. But first, let's go over to this shed. Now, when you volunteer for bird care, you'll be given a code to get into this shed. It's just a little combination lock. We'll give you the code when you volunteer, and you can use the code and get in here. It's got a little latch on the bottom and on the top. So in here, you'll see we've got meat maker crumbles for the chukar and the quail. That's what we use to feed them. And then there's bags of whole kernel corn that we use for feeding the pigeons and the ducks and pheasants also. Also in here, you will find a couple of shovels, which will be used later. There's also a lawnmower in here with a little tank of gas behind it. And when you come out to do bird care, we ask that when you're here, take a look around the pens if you can kind of pan out and see here. Grass is nice and mowed. If it's not, we just ask that you please mow it. If you're doing bird care for 1 week, you probably have to do it once during each week. And we just mow this area in here and just between each of the pens and around the other side of the pen as well. If you're out of gas, let us know and we'll make sure we get some out here. The lawnmower itself is just pretty much a pull start. So I took the lawnmower out for you. The handle will be collapsed so it can fit in the shed. When you get it out, you just put the holes in the handle in these little pegs, like that. Here's the gas, pretty full. Here's a primer. Push that a few times, I believe. This is your kind of a throttling gauge, so that's got to be holding on to this while you start it, or it won't start. And then that's it. If you're out of feed in any of the pens, if you're missing, there's a can in each pen for food, and if that can is empty, you can bring some from here. And if this is empty, shoot me a text or an email, or let any board member know, and we'll be sure to get some brought out for you. So that being said, we can go into each one of the pens and see how to take care of them. You'll need a hose. If it's a real hot day, just let the water run a while. Otherwise, you'll get real hot water coming out of there, and that's really not good for the birds. This is the corn feed. You can zoom in here. So we'll just fill this with corn, and you can fill it up, you know, up to the top is good. Take this off, and outside there will be some corn, and then just scoop the corn in there till it's full to the top. Next thing is this water. I usually just come in and empty it out. This always gets kind of nasty with algae. We try to pressure wash it out every chance we can, but for now, just spray it out best you can. And we'll fill it fairly close to the top. That's pretty good right there. These water jugs work off of a siphon. And what I usually do is rinse off a little bit. A black cover on a hole right there. There's also a hole on the bottom. So when you come to fill these, remove the black cover from the top and just screw it onto the bottom Then just take this cover off. You guys got to pin it between your feet. You can tip it over. Yeah, you should rinse all of it out. You can see I'm kind of spraying it with the hose. I'm actually breaking up some of the stuff that's in there. And if you didn't screw on the cap on the bottom, all the water would be leaking out right now and you'd never be able to fill it. The board will try to get out here as often as we can to pressure wash some of this stuff out, but just do the best you can in between those times. Now that that's full, put your cap back on. Remove the bottom cap and water will flow out. Put the cap back on the top. So that's the waters. And then getting back to the feed, here's where we keep our corn right out here in this can. Notice there's a bungee cord. This should be inside. Notice there's a bungee cord. Please put it back when you're done. And we just scoop out some corn. And just keep bringing scoops in until it's full. And when you're done, this can go back in here. Cover goes back on. Make sure it's nice and tight. And put the bungee cord. That's that. The next thing you want to do, and this is true of all of the pens, take a look around, take the time to walk around. Look for any obvious spot where birds have been getting out or predators have been getting in or maybe being able to reach in. You see, like, we've got some holes here that we're trying to patch up with this hardware cloth. So basically just checking anywhere where birds can get out or predators can get in, or any sign of any other kind of predation. If you walk in and there's 20 dead birds, that should be something that needs to be brought to a board member's attention. If it's just 1 or 2 boards, you should keep track of the dead birds through the bird log online. Like, if you're going to pay for your birds online, you just follow those prompts and it'll ask you if there were any dead birds. And you just proceed through that setup. So here's the QR code. If you've ever purchased your birds online using this QR code, obviously you know how it works. But if you're doing bird care and you're here, if there's any dead birds in the pen, we try to keep track of that so we can account for that at the end of the year. So just scan that. It'll walk you through the steps just like if you were purchasing birds to use, and just follow the, you would choose number of pigeons you're purchasing. Obviously those would all be 0. And at the end, it would ask you if there were any dead birds in the pen. And if there were, say yes, and then it'll prompt you to ask how many and what species they were. And then it'll ask you to check out. It'll take you through the whole checkout system, even though you're not actually purchasing anything. Go ahead and go through that setup so we get those dead birds accounted for. If there are any dead birds, please remove them from the pen. When you come up to do bird care, highly recommend bringing trash bags, shopping bags, something to keep those birds, and please dispose of them off the premises. If you can maybe stop at a gas station and tuck it in the trash bags that they've got. Otherwise at home, otherwise anywhere else other than here, please. So thank you for that. In the quail pen, So this is the quail and chukar pen. In here is the can where we keep their food. If you can get in there and see, it's getting kind of low, so we'll bring a couple bags up from the shed. This is the meat maker crumbles that we use. It's kind of a granular feed that we use. Pay attention when you're in here that you don't leave one of these doors open and they get out. Birds can escape through the crack in the door where the hose is. Same as in the pigeon feeder. This cover comes off. There's a black thing that sometimes comes off with this at the same time, but if it doesn't, just take it off. And then just like in the other pen, take some feed scoops. And you'll fill that up to the top. As you do this for a few days in a row, you'll get a feeling, you'll get a sense of how fast the food is going. So pay attention to that if you can. It wasn't uncommon in the beginning part of the year when the cooler temperatures were around. The birds were going through a 50-pound bag of feed in less than the space of 2 days. So they can go through it very fast. When it's full, you just put this back on top. Put that over. Water gets filled up in these tubes here, and water will get fed in through here. On the bottom of this, you'll see there's a little nipple here, and that's what dispenses the water. So important when it's very hot out to keep these waters full. Cover it back on. I like to just take my finger and push the nipple in under there just to see, make sure water's coming out. Just push them and water should drip out like that. Here's the other one. You're good to go. So you just come on over here. This shovel is kept in the shed there. Put the screen over the bucket. Quail and chukars, especially the chukars, really love grit. One of our members, Paul, made this very handy dandy sifter kind of screen with a 5-gallon bucket. And all we do is take the shovel from out there, scoop some gravel, and sift it through here. Just a few shovels is fine. But this is important because it really keeps the birds healthy. They, especially the chukars, seem to really love that grit.
Yep.
And that's perfect. And when you come back tomorrow or the next day, it'll be empty, I'm sure.
That's crazy.
Last thing you want to do is take a walk down the length of the pen. Look for any dead birds, look for anything that doesn't look right, any holes in the screen. Look along the edges. And before you leave, please make sure you close that door. If you don't, wind can go right in through here and it will open this door up. Or somebody else will come in and it isn't latched all the way and the birds will find their way out. And all of a sudden there will be 50 chukar right here in the doorway. Always make sure that you're locked. Good?
Yep.
Now the ducks. Hopefully we have enough hose. Let's see. Here's a can for food. This is full of cracked corn that we get from the shed. This is about halfway full. If you look in here, honestly, that's about as much feed as I would want kept in here. That amount of feed will last the birds quite a long time. You can either fill it from the top by just opening this up. You can dump it in there, or there's a bucket in here. There's also a scoop. And I just go around the edges. Then we go ahead and fill the water troughs. I usually empty them. Rinse them out. Do you have to do this every single time? Probably not, but every other time is, I like to empty all the troughs out with water, rinse them out, fill them back up. As you can see, they love the water trickling down there. That's probably pretty good. This here is the control panel for the electric perimeter fence that we have going around this duck pen. Predation in the duck pen has been a horrific problem in years past, and getting this system installed really has helped quench that problem. What can I tell you about it? I can tell you that if you come in and you hear clicking, that clicking noise tells you that the system is operating properly. If at any time you're ever in here to do bird care and you come in and notice there's no clicking, that means the system is not working. First thing, check to make sure it's plugged in. If it's plugged in, you're still not hearing a sound, I ask that you immediately notify one of the board members, myself, anyone on our officers, our board of directors. Our contact info is all on the website. That's a pretty urgent situation. So we would need to get that taken care of right away. Just call me up, shoot me a text, Rob, notice the fence area isn't working. And we'll be able to get someone out and take a look at it. You are mowing the grass or doing anything outside the pen and you need to have that disabled, unplug it. But make sure that you plug it back in, hear it clicking. Then, just like in all the other pens, take a look around. Raccoons seem to have a very huge appetite for ducks. So you're going to want to walk in here, look at the perimeter. No holes in the fence, especially the corners. Year before last, I think it was, we lost, I think, over 40 ducks, I think, just to raccoons alone. And having this perimeter fence really helped us out. So it's important that that's working. Just don't touch it. Make sure it's locked up before you leave. Make sure everything's, sometimes this can come loose and not close properly. Just make sure you close it all the way. And just like everywhere else, take a look around. So you want to make sure go all the way down and around both sides of the pen. And if there's a lot of tall grass touching it, that's going to interfere with it. It's not going to work right. There is also in the shed, there's a lawnmower, like I said, for mowing in between here. It's also a weed whacker. Feel free to disable the fence and weed whack along the sides just to make sure nothing's creeping up and touching the wires. So when you're done with the hose, it's important that you make sure the handle is turned off. Even if the nozzle is turned off, please make sure this is turned off as well. Then, please make sure you coil it back up. I just put it in like this first. Now you can come in and collapse the handles. And I just grab it and pull till that's off of there. And then just tilt it like so. Gas can could go in here. Bird crates can go up here. Extra net can go in here. Now if you look on the inside of this door, you'll see it's got little latches that go into holes there. So you just lift this up, close it, and make sure that that pin is engaged in the hole. Same thing on top. Now it can't open. Close that up, push the latch in. So that's bird care for those that don't know. Thank you again for volunteering. It really means a lot to the club. I think I've gotten everything explained pretty well, but if you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me or any board member. We'll be happy to help you out. Other than that, when you're done, just make sure everything's put back in the shed. The shed doors are closed and locked. All the pens are locked. Water's off. And that's all. Thanks.